There's more than a hint of festivity in the air this issue as we discover Christmas, Third Earth style. There are one or two notable differences. It's called Rammastide, for example. We're talking ThunderCats UK Comics Christmas issues. Hit it. It was the 1980s. Prince and Michael Jackson were the hottest acts around. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas were the hottest directors. And Marvel UK released a series of Christmas-themed, Rammastide-themed ThunderCats issues. I'm your host, Jerry D, with another episode of Totally Rad Christmas, the podcast that talks all things Christmas in the 80s. Toys, movies, specials, music, and fads. If it was gnarly during Christmas in the 80s, we got it covered. Now, joining me are two Totally Rad Christmas all-stars. My first guest you'll know from Pop Culture Roulette. It's Nicholas Pepin. Nicholas, how's it going?
It is hot, and I'm ready to talk Christmas.
That's right. You got to think cooler thoughts, right? Psych yourself out. Yeah. How you been?
Oh man, it is. I know. It doesn't have anything to compare to Texas, but Wisconsin these last couple of weeks has been absolutely horrendous.
You know what? Hot is hot. It doesn't matter where it is. So I feel that. It was 102 in my car the other day, and it was awful.
Yeah, it's been mid high 90s the last couple of weeks.
That's still bad. Yeah.
Since I'm a mechanic, most of my day is in a shop. So yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, that stinks. I'm sorry. Yeah. My next guest, though, hopefully he didn't have to deal with the heat. You'll know from moving panels, it's Laramy Wells. Laramy, what's happening?
Oh no, it's still hot here. I just got back from Alaska. So that just made it hotter
so
when I got back to the south.
Yeah. Maybe global warming is real. I don't know, whatever. But either way, it's hot. And I'm glad to be talking Christmas and cooler weather with you guys.
I'm glad to be talking in air conditioning.
It's touche. It reminds me when I was in freshman year of high school, and the band director, who was the assistant director, he would just tell us it's 40 degrees while we were just standing there at attention. He would just tell us it's 40 degrees out here. It wasn't 40 degrees. It was like 90 something degrees, and we were just covered in sweat, but he was trying to psych us out. So I asked him about it later after our season was over, and he said, well, in my past life, I was a weatherman. So
yeah. He was probably telling you it was 40 degrees Celsius. That's what he was.
That's right.
It's 100 degrees. Or whatever that translates to. I know it's something around 100.
It's something like that, yeah. So we're here to talk ThunderCats. Before we do that, just like Carol Kane did to Bill Murray and Scrooged, I want you guys to hit me with the toaster. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to hit me with the first thing you can think of, okay? You don't have to think too hard about it. So let's say you're spending Christmas with the ThunderCats. Would you rather trim the tree, go Christmas caroling, or go Christmas shopping?
I think I'd rather trim the tree.
I was going to say trim the tree.
I feel like singing might not be the best thing, and the shopping, there's no real shopping on Third Earth, right? So
yeah, because there's nothing on Third Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just the remnants of Mumm-Ra's fallen empire.
But I hesitated because I was like, who likes to trim a tree with a cat? That's
true. That's very true. That was one of the worst things when our cat was still alive. It's like, yeah, no thanks.
When we moved into the house, we have a full 4-season room with a sliding glass door between the living room and that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when we moved into this house, the Christmas tree gets put out there because we can slide the door shut, keeping it away from the cats. Although now we're down to one cat and the dogs. We don't have to worry about it because it's behind glass.
See, that's the way to do it. We put up a little makeshift fence, and that didn't work. And so finally we were like, whatever, just get a spray bottle of water. And anytime she tries to bite it, we'll just spray her in the face or that seemed to work. Okay, that's first one. Let's say that Tigra was George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life. So he's a little, suicidal at this point. Which other 80s cartoon character would be his Clarence? Like, who would be his guardian angel trying to save him?
Ooh, oh,
Splinter.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
all right. Without thinking, because that's what you like us to do, my brain went to Papa Smurf.
That's a good one too. I like both of
So,
those. They both have like that wisdom and well, Splinter especially has a gravitas, but Papa Smurf just feels really compassionate and knowledgeable. So I like both of those. I honestly wasn't really I couldn't really think of anybody that didn't not make sense. Like my first thought like when I wasn't thinking was Inspector Gadget and I was like, no, that's terrible. So but anyway, all right. And finally, let's say, what Christmas present do you think Snarf would get Lion-O for Rammastide? Or what present, excuse me, do you think Snarf would get Lion-O for Rammastide?
Socks.
I could see that.
Snarf seems like the type that would try to give something practical.
Yeah, he
Something,
does.
the presents that everybody gets for Christmas, but nobody wants.
Yeah, yeah. Every year, my mom would make sure we got at least one pair of like pants or a pair of a nice shirt, for church. And it would be a bunch of other things, but as soon as you saw that rectangular white box, you knew exactly what was in there. So, yeah, socks. That's good.
I think my instinct's going to go with nail clippers.
Maybe, maybe. I think Lino would try to humor him and just be like, "Oh, Snarf," but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's just a way for our listeners to get to know you guys a little bit better. So thank you for that. Now we're here to talk ThunderCats.
ThunderCats!
What do you guys remember about ThunderCats in general? And did you even know about these like UK comics? Because I didn't until like 4 years ago or so. And why don't we start with you, Nicholas?
I mean, as a child of the 80s, being born in 78, like, when the ThunderCats hit, like, that was in the wheelhouse of, my fandom. So I had a couple, I didn't have as many ThunderCats toys as I had, like, He-Man or Transformers, but I definitely had a couple. And I distinctly remember watching the cartoon.
Yeah.
When Hulu put it back on a couple years ago, I watched, I didn't watch it all, I didn't binge through it, but I watched a couple episodes enough to remind me, like, bring the nostalgic feels back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not too much to realize how bad it was.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Same
Rankin
thing
Bass. Let's just say it's definitely Rankin Bass.
Same thing with Voltron. Like, there's a memory of Voltron in my head that I refuse to watch it again because I don't want to ruin what's in my head.
I get that because when the series like came out on DVD, I bought them all and I started watching it. And I remembered like the first four, it's like the first 4 or 5 they cut into one movie, like they typically do with that and released on video. And I saw that a million times. And I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, it's a few holes here and there, but I didn't mind it. And then as I started continuing through the whole series, it really hit me that was not done well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch like Beast King Go Lion that is based on, and it's like super awesome. And you're like, wow, they butchered this when they brought it over to America. But yeah, ThunderCats doesn't quite hold up as much as I'd like it to hold up. So,
but as for the comic, I think I didn't know it existed until I feel like you've talked about it on prior episodes. I don't know if you've ever
Briefly.
done a Thunder. So like I know that over in the UK, Marvel has this weird imprint of all of this IP that they for whatever reason only did in the UK and never brought it over here.
so Marvel in their Star Comics imprint, they had a few over here, but it was nowhere near the volume that they had over there. And it's the same thing with like He-Man, and they have Action Force, although they did have G.I. Joe here. The Transformers, there was like some weird, awesome comics over there that for some reason just didn't come. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. What about you, Laramy?
I mean, pretty much the same. I grew up with the cartoon. I have and still have Lion-O, Panthro, and both versions of Mumm-Ra
Oh, wow.
as action figures. They're away in a box, but I have those. And I even remember the Lion-O was one that he came with this like little ring thing that you jammed into his back and his
Hmm.
eyes would light up.
Yeah.
So I remember that. I don't think I had the sword, but I know I had a sword that I would always hold up to my face like I was looking through.
Right. Through the
Yeah.
Sword of Omens. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I was one of those fans of the cartoon growing up as a child in the 80s, but the comic I knew of its existence, but did not read any until you pointed us in their direction for this show. So
Ye- Yeah, and I'm right there with you guys. This was another one of my favorites. Came out in '85. It was awesome. Got some of the toys. Looked when season 2 came out and they had the new Thunderans. I looked for those toys, but we never found Bengali. And like decades later, my brother found him and gave him to me, and I was like, "That's awesome," because I wanted him so bad. But it was one of those that I really loved. I did do an episode on it way back in season 2. And I had discovered these comics like the night before we would record. And so I didn't get a chance to really delve into them like I want to tonight. Today, I really want to focus on these comics. But Thundercats was a cartoon that I thought was so cool. Like they had Lion-O's anointing trials. They had tons of these like 5-part episodes. And in season 2, they were better airing than where it was like one after another. In season 1, they would do these 5 parts and they would separate them by a bunch of filler episodes. So we had like his first day of anointment, and then we had like 5 or 6 episodes, and then we had the second day of anointment trials, and so on and so on.
mhm.
And I thought it was awesome, just the fact that he had to like prove himself to be king, and the whole concept of like these cat people, but they're aliens and they land on Earth, but his sword grows and is magical. It was so cool. So I'm right there with you. The comics, like I said, I only found a few years ago, and say what you will about Marvel UK and some of their other stuff, like their Captain Britain comic that's really good. This one is not great.
No,
So
it is not. No, it is not.
no, and just like everything else over there, they're all like they seem to be anthology style, where it's like 3 or 4 different stories, like crammed into one very short comic. And
Yeah.
so you'll get like pieces of a story here, and then there's another story, and then the next issue you'll have a little bit more of that first story, then you'll have a completely different story after that. So it's very strange compared to the way we read comics here in America, where it's all basically one big book, except occasionally, like in the classic X-Men, the reprints, where they'd have a reprint story and then like maybe a brand new story backup that's only a few pages long. But other than that, I mean, we're just used to reading the whole comic, right? Like it's the
Yeah.
one story and then it goes to the next. So it's very
Or
strange.
actually reading a comic when you open up a comic book, unlike one of the stories in one of these that we're
That's
going to discuss.
that's right. One of them is literally just like text with
Yes.
like picture. It's
One
strange.
single picture and then
One picture, yeah.
yeah.
But then the whole cover is like based on that text. It was weird. So we'll get to it, but a little bit of info. Marvel UK I've kind of covered before, but published this particular book was published from March 21st, 87 through January 12th, 91. So by that time, Thundercats had pretty much died out already. And that was also typical of the UK comics. They tended to be a few years behind the US counterparts. We're going to be talking about issues 41, 89, and 128 from 87, 89, and 90, respectively. And let's just dive into this because there was some interesting things. So,
That's one way to put it.
yeah, so let's talk issue 41. This is published December 26, 1987. In particular, we're going to be talking about the story Footprints. This was done by Steve Allen, which was actually a pseudonym for John Tomlinson. And he's another guy that's written for a bunch of things, a lot of the Judge Dredd comics. He's done Doctor Who, quite a few things here and there. But he was written by him and Alan Rimmer together. And it's interesting because in the next comic, we're going to be talking about another guy who used to write with a partner. It's strange to me when they tag team books like that. but it's also pretty common in comics, you know?
Yeah.
So, begins with King Hanuman of the Snowman as he's trekking through the snow towards Cat's Lair. Did you guys remember the snowman? Like the
No.
snowman of Hook Mountain?
I did not. In fact, when they mentioned that he was the king, I thought I really was like, I thought that was Lion-O. Like, I
Yeah.
did not remember anything.
Yeah, the snowmen, they lived on Hook Mountain, covered in snow, of course. The guy had like a white, like snow cat or panther-like thing called Snow Meow.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But he had like fur all over his face, almost like a monkey, but not quite either. And I find his look in this comic to be, well, pardon the pun, quite comical, because it's just a strange, it's a very odd look to him. But I do like it. I don't think that would be my first, especially if he's a king. I don't think that would be like my first go-to. Like, he doesn't have a crown or anything that really suggests that he is a king.
No, other than the fact that they call him king.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. He's got like a staff. Maybe that's his royal scepter, I guess. I don't know. I do like the last panel on that first page, though, where you see him like in the distance and the footprints, and you see the big beastly leg as if the creature is following him.
Mm-hmm.
And so King Hanuman, even though he meets a pack of dire wolves, which I was like, oh, okay, dire wolves, nice. He pays them no mind because, this beast is following him, and he's trying to get to Cat's Lair, and the beast kind of scares them away as well.
Which I did not actually pick up on in that panel. I was like, what just happened? Like,
right. They just sense that there's this big creature following him, I guess.
Yeah, it was just like, because honestly, it goes from the wolves approaching him to a moment later, the horror eclipses even hunger. And then, like you said, that last panel shows him around. I honestly thought that was the foot of one of the wolves. Like, I did not pick up
No, I didn't.
just from those panels that there was something else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
No.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you now, but I'm talking about like when you just read it, since that is the first page of the comic.
Right.
There's a lot of not understanding what's going on that we're going to have in these three.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I was going to mention earlier when Jerry was talking about its pieces of comic. It's pieces, all right. It's pieces.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. But I mean, even within what they say is a story, seems to be pieces of a story.
But also, like, if they had just jettisoned like some of those other stories, they could have fleshed it out fully, right? And I mean, I feel like this is just them well, maybe fleshed it out a little more, let's say. Maybe not fully. But also, like, this feels like it's just them being lazy. Like, let me write a paragraph. All right, go draw that. And that's it. It's crazy. But so he arrives at Cat's Lair. I do like that title page, where it has a title, Footprints, and it's got him just kind of not like just normally you'd say mugging to the camera. I don't know what you'd call this in a comic, but he's just facing the terror behind him, I guess. But I do like the perspective there on Cat's Lair. I thought they did a good job of portraying those big front paws of the lair, because that thing was awesome. I wanted it so bad as a kid. I never got it.
I think I got I got the Castle Grayskull. I got Snake Mountain. I got the Hall of Justice. I had all of those.
Oh, that's cool.
Never got a hold of this one, of Cat's Lair.
No, and now they're pretty expensive, and it's like I'm just wait for someone to re-release, do a, rebrand or something.
Thunder. ThunderCats Cat's Lair. Will Cat's Lair's electronic laser beam destroy the mutant vehicle? Direct laser hits. Cat's Lair's doors are blown open.
Get him! Fire! Retreat!
Cat's Lair defeats the mutant vehicle. Cat's Lair, complete with mutant vehicle. Figure sold separately from LJX.
The pencils are done by Dougie Braithwaite. pretty well known in Marvel UK. He did some of these. He also did some of the Transformers comics. He also did some of the G.I. Joe. So good for him. But King Hanuman, he looks terrified there. But on the next page, what really is crazy to me is the way the Thundercats are drawn, particularly Tigra. I don't know what's up with Tigra's face, but it just looks more narrow than it should be and like elongated. And just something doesn't look right.
I noticed a pretty inconsistent drawing of certain characters across just from panel to panel or page to page.
Yeah. It also makes me wonder how fast they did these, because this book came out like fortnightly, so it was every 2 weeks. So I don't know if it was just the speed, like they just needed it out quickly and it doesn't matter how great it is or what, but yeah, some of the like proportions off, like that same panel with Tigra, look at Lino's hair.
That was
his hair normally swoops off to one side and that kind of gives it its like distinctive look, but here it just looks like 80s rocker hair. You know what I mean?
These are a new direction.
A new idea for new
the stage look of the band, fashioned after the signs of the Zodiac.
But anyway, so the Thundercats are freezing in their lair. Apparently, they don't have like central heating, and
because when I designed Cat's Lair, I never took into consideration that running joke in this.
Right, that happens quite a bit. Like he didn't consider Third Earth atmospheric conditions. Really?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you consider that?
Yeah. Like wasn't it happening while you were building it? Like
I didn't think we'd need a back door. Why don't you think you would need a back door? Don't you like just to get back to the back of the yard or something, like
it seems like they never had like kitchen fire on Third Earth or something, or on Thundera either. Yeah, that was another strange bit. But yeah, so like they don't have central heating, and Tiger didn't expect the harsh conditions, but whatever. They're freezing, and King Hanuman like barges in after setting off this intruder alarm.
No. How do they word it? The intruder alert alarm?
Intruder alert alarm.
Intruder alert alarm.
Talk about redundant, right? But I like, there's also like a running gag between Snarf and Panthro, where Panthro, kind of threatens Snarf, because Snarf was the annoying one, right? I mean, we can all admit that as a kid, Snarf was the sidekick that we hated the most.
Probably.
Yeah.
More than Scrappy Doo, you think?
Ooh, well, okay, that's tough. Okay. All right. I'll take that. But yeah, they set off this like intruder alert alarm. Sorry. They find King Hanuman. He comes in and he gives them this warning that it's Rammastide and Cat's Lair is right in the path of a creature. And you're going to have to forgive my pronunciation. The Metokangmi or Metokangmi, Kongmi. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah.
The creature. I don't know. I'm just going to call it creature, so I don't have to say it anymore.
Yeti.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
This abominable snowcat. So
yeah, but even when he explains everything, I was like, but wait, how does he know what path the thing's gonna take?
Well, they say, because according to the ancient scrolls, why would an ancient scroll know like the path that this creature's gonna take? I didn't get. Yeah. But also at the same time, I kind of liked it. And if I was a kid reading it, I'd be like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. The scrolls of knowledge. We just call it the Farmer's Almanac. Like
that's right. The Weather Channel app.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this creature leaves devastation like wherever it goes, and it's heading towards Cat's Lair. But also he explains what Rammastide is. And so it's a feast that commemorates the first defeat and overthrow of Mumm-Ra, and like I guess the collapse of his evil empire or reign of terror, which I'm more interested in that. Like, let's see flashbacks to that. Yeah. That sounds cool.
Where's our prequel? Where's our prequel series?
That's right.
They probably did it. They just didn't bother to reference it, or they they put it halfway through the next 6 issues later.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, because there's one reference. I don't remember if it was this one or one of the other ones we're going to talk about, where it does the little asterisks and then it says like in a future issue, and I'm going, why? How are you referencing something that hasn't happened yet?
I saw that. I was like, okay, the time traveler.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Oh, but remember, we filled that hole. How am I supposed to remember you filled the hole?
It hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
They're just trying to bide their time. Just buy them some time. Anyway, so yeah, they're celebrating this feast called Rammastide. It's like a big thing on Third Earth, and this big creature is going to run right into Cat's lair. And it leaves, of course, a wake of devastation as it moves on during the bleak cold. So, very soon afterwards, it attacks the base, and I like this. Lino goes out, runs out to go confront it. He's doing the whole thunder thing as he's running, which I don't remember him ever doing. But as he's doing that, he opens the door, and it just kicks snow at him and throws him off his game. It made me laugh so hard. So that's all Mumm-Ra needed to do. Just launch snow at Lino, and then he could attack him while he's down.
Well, cats don't like snow, rain, so I guess they don't like snow either. I don't.
I guess. I don't know. They don't know how they're going to get out because, like you said, there's no real back door. But luckily for them, the mutants, Slythe and Jackalman and Monkey and all those, dug some tunnels trying to burrow into Cat's lair and take them by surprise. And so they have these remnants of their tunnels.
Yeah.
That they're going to use to escape Cat's lair.
I do want to go back, though, to that very first, the title page, where it shows us Cat's lair. Are those not windows? Are there not other places they could potentially get out?
Oh, yeah, right there. There's a window.
Yeah. There are windows, yeah.
Just curious.
Well, but also, when the thunder tank would come out, one of those paws would raise up, and the thunder tank would come out of that.
And I love how his reason for not using it is that they would just what does he say, nip his toenail or something?
Yeah, it's
I'm like, well, then
ridiculous.
What was your plan when you just ran out there with a sword?
Lino is not the smartest. He's not the sharpest pencil in the bunch, is he?
Thunder! 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 ThunderCats! I'm going too high.
Yeah, which one is? Who's the brains of the ThunderCats?
Well, it's supposed to be Tigra, but...
It's supposed to be, but he wasn't thinking about anything when he built the cat's lair.
He didn't even put in a heater. That's basic, man. If you're not sure about your surrounding environment, you try to compensate for any circumstance, right?
I would think so.
And keep your foot off that blasted flange.
What the is a flange?
I have to do that again.
So they take these tunnels, and they don't realize how far the tunnels actually go. So,
because they only filled in the entrance, that was it.
And so Lino uses the Sword of Omens for light. And he's like, well, hey, we're going to be walking a while.
It's like an abuse of power.
Tell me the story. Tell me the story. And so he kind of does. He tells him more about the beast. And he says that there's some legends that say it's like a creature created by Mumm-Ra for revenge after his downfall. And then there's other legends that say that it's from the prehistoric era of Third Earth, and that there were two, and one morning one of them went away, and the other one's just trying to find it, and he just got ghosted, so he's trying to find his mate, and then he from despair to anger, and I don't know. Anyway, it's like a whole thing, but he doesn't really seem to know which one it is. He just kind of thinks it's that two creatures one.
But you know what he is sure of? The path it's going to take.
I mean...
Screw these other ancient texts that tell us what this thing is, but text of knowledge, scroll of knowledge, tells us what path it's going to take, even though it doesn't know what it is.
It doesn't know what it is or where it came from, which reminded me very much of the Stonehenge bit from Spinal Tap, when he's talking about the druids, and he's like,
No one knows who they were or what they were doing.
that's basically what he's doing with this thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this abominable snow cat, or maybe it's the Yule cat, Yola Koturin. I don't know.
There you go.
Anyway, he tells the story of it, and I do like some of the drawings during this flashback. Like the bottom panel of page 14, the bottom left panel, that's a cool, nice, just silhouette image, or not silhouette, but what's it called when you're turned to the side?
Profile.
Profile. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a nice profile of this creature. You can tell it really looks more like a cat. The panel above it really shows that it's almost like a bear, like in its body, but it's huge. It's just this like gigantic creature. So I thought those were actually pretty well done. Like when you compare it to the rest of this this story.
Yeah. Or the fact that even in the UK, where they seem to put a U inside of every word, they put it in the word boom. Because in the very next panel, they spell boom with a U.
Or they cut the top of the O's off.
Oh,
No.
maybe it could be that too, but I kind of like the U theory because it
Boom.
Because, yeah,
boom.
you had the British spelling of like color in here with the U, and I want to say there was a couple others that had that U, that unnecessary U.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, which again,
we fought for our independence to get away from that.
I was just about to bring that up. That Nate Bargatze sketch, Washington's Dream.
Yeah.
But one day, if we are brave, we will get rid of the U and a lot of British words like color and armor. But by God, we will keep the British U in the word glamour.
Only glamour, sir?
Only glamour. That is my dream for our countrymen. A melting pot of different measurements that will make Europeans throw little tantrums. In short, a land of liberty.
Oh, it's so good. But so they finally make it outside through these tunnels, wherever it leads them. And as they come out, they see that this creature is forming like this giant mound of snow. And they look up, and sure enough, he's giving the cat's lair a big old hug. And it turns out
he's
he was
posing for a picture. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like just embracing it. And he left him a present, which was like a snowman. Well, a snow cat, I guess. It's like literally a cat formed out of snow, like its mate, I suppose. I don't know.
Which, I was going to say, we're glad that all we saw was it hugging the cat's
I was
lair.
thinking that too. I was like, oh no, he's got a little bit of what do they say? A Mississippi leg hound in him.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, in order for him to get into that position, if you look at that panel again, he is having to straddle one of the legs of
one of the
cat's
arms.
lair. Yeah, one of the arms. Yeah,
that's true.
So it just dawned on me now upon the second reading here. He says he didn't build a back door, but they clearly built tunnels, which effectively is a back door.
Well, no. They didn't do that. Remember, in the future, someone's going to dig those tunnels to try to get into Cat's Lair.
Oh, okay.
Which you're right. But then if you look at the panel where it actually shows them coming out, where it says battle formations up there at the top of page 15, it looks like it's an actual door. You know, like the entrance to
it
an
looks like a
actual
mine. Yeah.
Right,
but I still chalked it up to whoever these people are in the future.
Well, we know it's Slide and the mutants.
Yeah.
In the future, but
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out. I've already thought about it a couple of times. So the inhabitants of this third Earth are mutants.
No, so they actually are from the planet Plundar, and they followed the ThunderCats there because these are the last of the ThunderCats because Thundera blew up.
Okay. All right. Because like I said, I'm not remembering everything. But yet there is this. So is this creature, if it originally came from it, it's also a type of animal? Like, I'm so confused. Like, what makes this is one of those where it's like, are you an actual animal? Are you are you some sort of creature? Like what are you?
Yeah, because most of the universe is populated with these like humanoid animals, right?
Yes.
Not just anthropomorphic, but actually humanoid.
Yes.
In this case, it does seem like that as well because it can stand on its back paws and it can reason enough to
Yes.
create a snow a snow creature. But it does belong on this, like it does come from this earth as far as we know. And
Unless
like
it's the creation of Mumm-Ra, like they had
unless it's the
established.
creation of
Yes.
Mumm-Ra, right?
Yeah. But then you've got King Human, or how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Hanuman
Who,
or something.
yeah, who like what is he supposed to be? Because he almost looks like he's some sort of monkey with a
Right.
beard.
He does look like a monkey thing. So he's one of the snowman of Hook Mountain.
No, yeah, I got that. But I
But
just mean like,
I don't know. I mean, if you look at the snowman himself, like the one from the cartoon, the one that actually appears, he has very monkeyish features. So
yeah.
I don't know if like this
So it's
is
I'm just saying it's hard to keep up with who's from this planet and who's
yeah,
not.
yeah. Well, we know the ThunderCats are not, so we're safe with that knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. And we know Mumm-Ra is apparently from this earth. And there's, he lives in the Black Pyramid. His the ancient spirits of evil look like Egyptian gods. And so it makes me wonder if Third Earth is like actual Earth in like a third age.
Yeah, it's a Planet of the Apes type situation.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is it something like that? Or like why is this third Earth? Because it's the third planet from the sun, or
Well, there was the humans, then the monkeys, and now the cats have taken over.
now the cats. That's right. That's right. I don't know. It's all good questions that I don't think we ever get a real answer for. The rest of this comic is, I mean, it's really, there's really not much to it. There's a little ad for ThunderCats the movie and then another little gag. And at the very bottom, like on the very last page, they have, I don't know, a little mini comic, like a comic strip style of one cat and his cod. And I guess this is something that they ran in quite a few issues. This is a regular thing. And they have a little Christmas bit there, but I didn't understand it at all. I was reading it like, what are they talking about?
I honestly didn't even read it. I assumed it was like a ad,
Yeah.
like a product placement ad, so I didn't even bother reading it.
No, I don't blame you. It's fine. But that's the first issue. Now we're going to talk about issue number 89, which is from January 7th, 1989. The cover is actually pretty nice. It's got WilyKit, WilyKat making a snowman in the shape of Lion-O, which like that's some hardcore sculpting because that thing looks great.
Yeah. And if you missed it, you get it again like halfway through the comic book.
That's right. That's right. They put a red scarf on him. Snarf's just there on his rosebud sled, just kind of chilling out. And yeah, and then it just says it's featuring Slythe and Monkeyin. And that's about it. Yeah. Now, this first story, we're not even really going to talk about too much because it is from a whole other story that has nothing to do with Christmas or Ramatide or anything, but it features Hachiman again.
Mhm.
And this dude is always getting tricked like by the villains into thinking that the ThunderCats are evil. Like it happens at least twice in the cartoon, and here, I mean, it almost happens again. It's crazy. Why can't this dude just realize that villains are going to try to trick him and the ThunderCats are good?
Mm.
But I want to skip to this story, Snow
Can I just
Surprise.
quickly point out that
Yeah,
we
go for it.
we do get in that first panel a brief appearance of one of the Robert Burbles.
The Burbles, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Robert Burbles.
Which was something I very much remember. So it was cool to see one of those.
Which is another thing that always I thought was odd because you have this like ancient Egyptian like wizard on one side, and then you have like these robot bear things. So maybe it is the future, and like people have died out somehow. Well, no, not completely because we do have those the warrior maidens, Willa. So they live in the jungle.
But here we just got a bunch of sentient Teddy Rupskins who crash landed here.
And
That's right.
Hachiman looks vaguely human.
Well, but I know he's also like they conjure him from the past.
Oh.
Yeah, like so.
It's supposed to be like a old like
Feudal-
samurai warrior. Or something.
Yeah, like feudal Japan or something. I don't know, but
Meanwhile, he's battling Lion-O here on the set of American Gladiators.
oh man, that thing was awesome. Yeah, it's I don't even know what you call those. It's just these pillars, right? These just cylindrical pillars that are just there, and they're like balancing on them, trying to fight. And Lion-O does flips, which of course he can, because he's a cat.
Mhm.
So, he always lands on his feet, and it's great. But there is one of those little fill-ins, and I noticed the UK comics do this a lot, where there's like a page or two of just like an activity book kind of
Yes,
situation.
the copy the Christmas tree. Yes,
Right, it's copycats, boom, get it? And it's WilyKit's there, and there's one tree, and it's on a grid, a Christmas tree, and then she's just saying, "Hey, why don't you try copying it?" And so then there's an empty grid that you can try to copy it as well.
yes, and that's where I remember. There it is. There's the color with the U. I found it.
Color it in. That's all right. So we get the cover image again, and we get Snow Surprise by Dan Abnett, of all people. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, very famous British comic book writer.
Yep, he's one of the ones responsible for like the Annihilation Wave and pretty much establishing the Guardians of the Galaxy as we know them today.
And for you real nerds out there, he's behind Warhammer too.
Warhammer, yep. So the story's called Snow Surprise, and this is
It's a story. It's a story.
Exactly.
This isn't another comic.
Bit.
This is a story.
Text with like one panel, like one drawn panel in there. And it's just a 2-page story. It's literally prose, not anything else.
And I'm sure something happens between page 1 and page 2 that I just completely missed because it seems to take a hard jump. I don't know if either one of you thought that. Like, as I've read the story, I really thought, like, am I missing a page? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it wasn't the clearest.
No,
More the most concise. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I honestly had a hard time following this one so much that I barely paid attention to it. I just
yeah, I don't blame you at all because literally, at least with the other ones, there's like action, there's panels.
Yes, okay. And I know you're probably about to tell this story, but honestly, reading this story, I'm going, you know what would make this story better? If I could see it.
That's right. Like,
because some of the stuff you're describing sounds awesome if it was an actual panel.
You know what it reminds me of? It makes me think that they realized at the very last second, oh, you know what? It's kind of Christmas. Maybe we should do something Christmassy. What do you got? And it was too late for them to draw it. So they're just like, just toss that story in there. Yeah. I don't know. But so yes, it's Rammastide. WilyKit and WilyKat are playing in the snow outside. And I like how Tigra and Snarf are discussing preparations for this big, like, Rammastide party that they're going to have. So Chitara and Pumira, of course, being one of the new Thunderans from season 2, they're decorating the hall, putting decorations up. Lion-O is out delivering invitations to all the friends that they're going to invite. Panthro and Bengali are putting up the Rammastide tree, which, why would they also have a tree to commemorate their holiday? Whatever. Anyway, and then Linkso and Linksana are wrapping presents. Linksana is a comic-specific character. She never appeared in the show. And she was like a Thundercat that was exiled and then became a bounty hunter and was hired by the Mutants and Mumm-Ra to take out the ThunderCats and almost succeeds. But, of course, Lion-O convinces her in the end. So this is like a comic specific character that we never see, and they're wrapping presents, and I'm just thinking, why would she just be wrapping presents? She had this cool bounty hunter life, and now she's just gonna chill out with the Thundercats. But whatever. So the Thunder Kittens hit Snarf in the face with the snowball, and Tigra pretty much gets after them. Like, he just straight up admonishes them that they haven't done anything, so either help out or do something creative. And this is where that jump you're talking about cuts to, because
yes,
he says, like, oh, I got an idea, and then hard cut to later that night where Slythe and the Mutants are wading through the snow.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for you to continue the story because I need to figure out what was his idea. Like,
so his idea was to make a Lion-O snowman. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
that was his brilliant idea.
That was
And I only know that because I'm looking at the cover, and that's my best guess.
Yeah. Well, and then we do know he did it because it happens next in the story when they run across it. But I'm just like, that was the lead up. Like that was it.
It's not one of Dan Abnett's better things. I mean, you write as much as he does. They're not all going to be winners. So
you want us to be creative? Oh, I've got the greatest idea. It's a snowman that looks like Lion-O. Awesome.
Which I've never, we don't really get snow here. So in the few times that we have, it's also mostly ice rather than snow. So it's also very hard to create any kind of snowmen.
Yeah.
And when we do, they're usually maybe about 6 to 8 inches tall.
Yep.
But I feel like this is something that would take a long time sculpting it out to make it look like Lion-O. I feel like that's a hard, long process.
Still, I just
yeah. Well, you get a lot of snow up there, don't you, Nicholas?
Yes, I do. I could make a Lion-O snowman if I had the desire to hang out outside when it's snowing.
That's right.
Which I don't.
So I'm hoping, since this is like a year later, hopefully the ThunderCats by this time have central heating now. So, and maybe WilyKit and WilyKat thought it was too stuffy and decided to go play outside.
Well, once again, looking at Thunder Mountain here, Cat Mountain, whatever you call that place.
Cat's Lair.
Cat's Lair. You've got numerous windows.
Yes.
I mean, I hope they're not just like an actual castle where the windows are just, open. Hopefully there's some sort of like glass or something. Well, I don't know, but later that night, the mutants, they're trudging through the snow towards Cat's Lair to surprise attack the heroes. And Jackal Man, after complaining, of course, how cold he is, he starts cowering when he's frightened when he sees Lion-O. And it turns out, Slythe points out to him that it's not just Lion-O, but it's a Lion-O-shaped snowman, which was Wilykit's big idea. So they press on and they continue, and soon they see a bunch more snowmen, and Slythe, because he thinks it was done out of the spirit of Rammastide, he really, it's just irking him so much. So he orders Jackal Man to destroy the snowmen, but it turns out it's actually the real heroes. Like, it's the whole group of ThunderCats out there with just a light layer of like snow, just kind of dusting them off. So
yeah, okay.
right. They say they saw the mutants on the security scanner, so I guess that would be that intruder alert alarm. And then Lion-O just invites them into the Rammastide feast for some warm burble fruit punch. Which warm punch is not my favorite, but
no.
Yeah. I mean, maybe burble fruit needs to be warm. I don't know. But that sounds disgusting to me. It's like hot Dr. Pepper. Pass. Like, no thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, that's the end. That's it. It literally says the end after that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we do get one panel of WilyKit and WilyKat outside. It almost seems like it was that same Cat's Lair background that they just reused. And then they just have WilyKit and WilyKat outside.
in their usual
gear.
Clothing, yeah.
Right.
So does the cold affect these cats or not? Like, I need some continuity here.
I don't know. I remember in the first episode when they get their clothes, Jaga's like, you're going to need some protective clothing. And he creates mystically this clothing for them or whatever.
A tunic. He creates a tunic.
That's right. But I didn't see how that would be that protective, honestly. So, especially in the snow. I mean, so maybe they have some sort of warming powers. Maybe they have like a heater built in, but then that negates what happened in the previous one.
Was
exactly
complaining about in the last one.
I don't know, but that's literally it. I mean, there's no more after that.
No,
There you go. That's issue 89.
there's another one of those one cat and his cod comics that I didn't read.
I didn't read that one either. I read the first one, and after that, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, but like I said, I just assumed it was like an ad. Like you remember the DC they used to do
big time.
the ads for like the fruit pies.
Mhm.
Like it was just a one-page comic, but it was about the Joker stealing these. I don't even know what company they were, the Hostess or some
Hostess,
company
I
that
think,
doesn't
yeah.
exist anymore. Yeah, that's what I assumed it was, so I didn't even bother reading it.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you at all. And then we're going to go to issue number 128. This was released December 29th, 1990. And the cover is really Christmassy. It's got
This was my
Snarf
favorite cover. I will
with a
say that.
Santa hat. He's in a stocking with some presents. There's a Christmas tree. He's hanging like on the wall, I think, and some presents underneath him. It looks really Christmassy. It's a nice cover.
I did notice that as the years progressed, the quality of the art did get better.
Yes, I noticed that too. Yeah.
Of the cover.
Oh, well, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say the quality of the rest of it was any better, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember, look, again, I don't remember the cartoon vividly, but I know we're about to get into it. But then when I turned the page, a couple of pages, when I got to the first page, Snark's face startles me and makes me a little uncomfortable.
So
I don't remember it looking like that in the cartoon.
Part of it is the coloring, like the coloration. The part that's usually not quite as dark, I think it's more of like a peach, seems to be like dark red. And so it's hard to tell where his nose starts. And if you look closely, you can see it, but it doesn't, it's very off-putting because it doesn't normally look like that. So, but he's wearing the Santa hat.
That makes it all better. There you go.
No, but it makes me wonder, like, do they have Santa during Rammastide? Is that like, what's like, where did they get these hats from?
I don't know. It's like when the Flintstones celebrate Christmas. You're like,
that's strange too. Yeah.
Wait.
Well, that's that
What are
fan
they
theory
celebrating?
that they're still in the future. Like they're, you know. and the
Okay, so
Jetsons
so now it's humans, apes, cats, and then we go back to the humans.
We
for
go back to the
Flintstones.
humans,
There we
yep,
go.
and the
It's
advanced
all
ones
full
are way
circle.
up top. It's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
We figured it out. So this story is called The Homecoming. This was another one by John Tomlinson. The art was done by Martin Griffiths and Simon Colby. Martin Griffiths had earlier done the coloring. This is another one that nothing happens, and it's like, I don't know, I kind of like them to be more action in my stories, but that's just me. This is like one of those Dragon Ball Z filler episodes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this issue we plan on talking about, but there is one thing we have to talk about that is going to push the line of what I'm allowed to say on your show.
Yes, if you're talking about his name.
So his name,
yeah,
is, and this is how I'm going to get away with saying it. His name.
No,
is
you can say it. It's fine.
Lemuel Poontang.
Yeah.
Poontang.
I did some research.
Yeah.
Which my Google search history is going to be a little weird.
The
best I can figure is that it means the same in Europe that it does here.
Oh no!
And the word has existed since approximately about 1910. Really came into focus sometime in the 60s. But it's not like the word fanny, which in America means butt, and in Europe means a very different thing, or in England means a very different part of the body.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
This word means the same here as it does there.
They were.
This is a little love song called Wang Dang Sweet Poontang.
Maybe they thought they could sneak it in and it sounds alien enough that the editor wouldn't notice. I don't know. You would think the editor would have commented on that, you know, like maybe change the first letter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I now have a good breakdown on the history of the word, where it came from.
Yeah,
The-
your
the
search
French
history is
origin.
forever marred.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to clear all that.
probably
Yeah.
wasn't great to begin with, based on what we do over on Pop Culture Roulette. But
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but this is a Christmas issue. And so I am actually going to admit I did the same thing you did. I just wanted to see, like, does this have a different meaning? Because I know that in the 90s, in the Attitude Era of WWE, The Rock used this a lot, referring to it as a pie. But
Well.
I'm just saying, he called it a poontang pie.
I mean, you can get there. That's not a hard jump, but yeah.
But I was curious. I was like, okay, well, what about his first name? I just want you to know his first name does mean gentle. So
I don't know if that makes it better. But yeah, that's okay. Well,
so Clemuel, it means gentle.
Okay.
So this is some this is some gentle poontang. I just
Oh man, I gotta find some music to put behind that. So it's Rama's Eve at Cat's Lair.
Isn't there music built in for that type of stuff? And like,
I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so it's Rama's Eve at Cat's Lair. Snarf, of course, bemoaning his lot in life. He's cleaning up and preparing the feast all by himself. When suddenly the intruder alarm is alerted, and Snarf goes to check it out. He opens the door, and it's a traveling salesman named, like you said, Clemuel Poontang.
Gentle Poontang.
And this guy is the stereotypical door-to-door traveling salesman. I mean, he's like, he sees a mess of dishes that had fallen over because WilyKit and WilyKat stacked them incorrectly, and he's like, oh, this place needs a good vacuuming. And so he immediately sprinkles dust and soot, and what he says is powdered berserker compost heap.
Yeah,
out of
these like magic bags that are just blasting this stuff out. Like that's what I was like. He's not just dumping; like he's holding them horizontal, and the stuff's just pouring out of them.
Oh man, it's a mess. But then he asks for electricity so he can vacuum it up. And of course, Snarf lets him know that the base runs on thundrillium, not electricity. And so he immediately
We need an adapter.
that's right. He immediately shifts to maybe you need a set of encyclopedias.
Yeah. Apparently he sells everything. Like that's.
I mean, it sounds like he does, because later on he mentions a few other things as well.
Also, is this guy supposed to be a native of Third World? And if so, it implies that electricity exists on this world.
Yeah, I mean, he looks humanoid.
Yeah. I mean, well, he does look like a little person.
Yeah. But
I mean, maybe they should have bought the encyclopedia so they could know about that feature from the first story.
There you go.
That's right. Like, what's going on?
So, what does a set of Encyclopedia Britannica look like on Third World?
That's right. Would it be Encyclopedia Britannica or Encyclopedia Romanica? I don't know. Mumm-Ra-nica? I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. Like, what would be involved in there?
He's got a collection of Third World books. Y'all remember the World books?
The World books.
Y'all get the joke there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. We had World books. We didn't have Encyclopedia Britannica.
You couldn't afford the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Are you kidding? No way. You'd get one letter, and you'd have to keep that one letter for a month before you could afford another one.
I know everything there is to know between CA and CH.
That's right. Oh, man. So while this is going on, Lion-O and the Thundercats are returning home. Lion-O and the Thunder Kittens are riding on the Thunder Claw, and the others are riding on the Thunder Tank when they notice that there's smoke coming through the door. And they burst in expecting the mutants having set some sort of fire or some sort of destruction, but instead they see Snarf fighting off the salesman with the frying pan.
Instead, we get no explanation to the smoke whatsoever.
Well, we kind of do, but it's not a good one, everything else. So he says something like, I tried to tell you it was a shell casing. because Snarf says, what was in that salt shaker? So I guess he thought it was a salt shaker and tried to pour it on something, and instead it was like gunpowder in there. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, like I said, pretty terrible explanation. But at least they give us something? Question mark.
Okay, I do like though just like in the first issue where Lion-O goes running out of the door and it's the ThunderCats, and then like because he gets hit by the snow.
Right.
In this one, it's ThunderCats. Oh.
Nice callback.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, his hair is like all just different. Like they can't seem to quite get his mane correctly. Like in the cartoon, even when he's running, his hair still kind of has that side taper.
The action figure had that. It was just all to one side. Yep.
Yeah, just tapers off on the one side. But here, it's like it doesn't matter where he's looking. It either goes backwards or doesn't exist. So, same thing we get later on in that panel where he's talking to Clemuel, to Gentle. We see his hair is, again, almost like just generic 80s rocker, you know?
Just your typical lion's mane.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, so he tells him that the new Thundercats, Bengali, Pumaira, and Linkso have finished the Tower of Omens faster than they expected, and that they invited them all there for dinner on this Rammastide. And so Snarf doesn't even have to prepare the meal. Yay! Good job. So while they're there at the tower, Lion-O basically just beams at its magnificence, and Clemuel says, it's not bad, but have they ever thought about heated loft insulation? Which they have, actually, 2 issues ago.
Yeah. Well, no, he's never considered that. He didn't consider it.
That's right. That's right. And then they all just kind of give him a blank stare and then throw him in the snow, which didn't seem very Thundercat-ly.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to, like, hawk his wares as they walk away. It's crazy. It says, what about a set of garden tools or a snow scoop or your supply of nearly new
fish? Yes.
Which I wanted to know what that was.
I don't think you do.
You could be right, yeah. And then, like, that's it. That's how that story ends as well. And we also get that same, a mini poster of the cover of Snarf and the Santa hat on the stocking. And that's really it. The next story makes no sense with Snarf finding a baby. And then, like, that's it. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Which entirely seems to take place on, like, our Earth.
Yeah.
Like, other than there being, you know, dog people and cat people, like, all of the actual settings in that comic look like they're just in a typical house.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Like a castle or something.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So, those are the issues. I wish there was more, like, Thundercat goodness in it, because, like we said, does it hold up? Not so much. But back in the day, the cartoon was awesome, you know?
Yeah.
Groon the Destroyer, this, like, disgraced Thundercat that came back as a ghost. How cool is that?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing we got of Mumm-Ra was him poking through this little portal in the one, and then he gets stuck in the portal.
Yeah, and the Hachiman story. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
This is Hachiman, ultimate warrior, bound to the Bushido Code of Honor. You mean he will fight on our side, yes?
Oh, what is this place? Who are these foreigners?
Hey, watch it!
And then they make they make some pun reference to he's all wrapped up.
Man, I'm going to be using that sound effect a lot this episode. Yeah, it just a lot of bizarre
hey,
choices.
What's your name? Poontang. Ask me again, I'll tell you the same.
It's like that movie Pootie Tang, remember from
Yes.
It's a good movie. Okay. If you could be
do you
well,
really?
entertaining movie. Let me say that.
Okay.
All right. If you could be a Thundercat, which one would you want to be?
Off the top of my head, I was always I always had a love of Panthro. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know what it was. It may be, I like the color blue, so it may have been just that, he had that color to him, but he just seemed cool. Like he was the B.A. Baracus of the Thundercats.
That's true. He definitely was. Yeah. Yeah, Panther was a good choice. What do you think, Nicholas?
I was gonna go Panthro as well. I mean, for the same reasons. Like I've always just thought he was cool. Like I guess when it comes to that kind of stuff, like I always liked the bigger guys.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know if it's because I'm the oldest child or what, but I always was drawn towards like Lion-O and all like the leader. So Duke in G.I. Joe, and of course Optimus Prime and Transformers, and all the leadery figures. Even though I don't really resemble them in any way, or like I don't know. Just I was always drawn towards them. So for me, of course, it would be Lion-O. But yeah, I mean, Panther was super cool. Bengali, I thought had a cool look because he was kind of like Tigra, but white, like a Bengal tiger, or an albino Bengal tiger, especially. Panthro, doesn't he say at one point that he knows like some sort of kung fu?
Yes, it was in
something?
that. That's the reason why he's not cold. It was in that very first.
It's
we discussed
Cotter Kwan Do, something like that.
Something like that. There was a lot of things when I was reading these comics, like I'm guessing how to pronounce this.
Yeah, it's like K and then O with like an umlaut over it, and then two T's and an R. I don't know if there's another pronunciation, but I did find it funny that why would they end it Kwon Do as well, like Taekwondo? Like they're a whole other species. You literally could make up any word you wanted, right?
Well, and you already kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the very following panel, Snarf says he has goosebumps. And I'm like, would animals call it goosebumps? Like, it was kind of the same idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they
do they know what a
like
goose
Cotter.
is? That's
maybe there's geese on Third Earth. I don't know. Yeah, because there was a lot of other creatures that didn't resemble anything we had. So anyway, okay. What would you say is your happiest like memory or moment of Thundercats? You can either do in general, like just with your previous experience, or you can do like a particular moment from this comic.
It ain't gonna be a moment from this comic.
I'm probably not gonna take anything from this comic, but I mean, I just that like I mean, I've probably used this one on past episodes, but I'm gonna cop out and do it again. Just the warm, fuzzy memories of like the Saturday morning cartoon, like getting waking up and watching. Although I don't remember if this one was a Saturday morning or if this was one of the.
I think this one was after school. One
of the after school ones. But either way, like it just like there brings that warm nostalgia feeling of back when when you'd watch the episode and then you run over to your friend's house and you'd like discuss it,
right,
like you had just watched the most recent Angels game or Braves game, or you had to break down the episode.
Right on. Laramy?
Yeah, it's the same. Again, it's me. Like I said, I don't think I actually had the sword, the Sword of Omens. I think I just had this other like sword I got, plastic sword I got. But I always did the holding it up to my face and doing
sight beyond sight.
Give me sight beyond sight. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, the nostalgia factor is just a big one with Thundercats, because I'll be honest, Thundercats probably wasn't like Nicholas said, I was bigger with He-Man, or with some of the other kid properties of that time. But yeah, Thundercats has a spot for me. It always ticked me off with the toys though, because the toys were one of those that they made that was its own unique size.
It was LJN, yeah. I think they were 6.5 or 7 inches.
Yeah.
I don't recall
like
exactly.
Too short to play with certain dolls and too tall to play with other dolls. You couldn't mix and match, which was something I always liked doing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Yeah, I couldn't have
Crisis
my
on
little.
Infinite Earths, right?
Yeah, couldn't have my little.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or they had to tell me to say no to drugs or something. Yeah, it's just something.
That's right.
Um,
That's right. And they
You
always
know.
did have a PSA, as well. Not like the way
Not
G.I.
like
Joe or
G.I. Joe,
He-Man
yeah.
did it.
Where
G.I.
they
Joe
told me not to
specifically.
stick a knife in the toaster.
That's right. Yeah. No, theirs were more subtle. They were actually worked in like the very end, like, oh, as they're talking to each other, well, Snarf, if you hadn't done this, then I would have. I mean, whereas like He-Man specifically talked to us and G.I. Joe, same thing. But yeah, so for me, I think it would be renting from Movie Land Video the ThunderCats movie, which, as I mentioned earlier, was just like the 4 or 5 episodes of the original run, the very first 4, and cut together into a movie, basically. It was that, and they had as a backup, so like after that, quote unquote movie, they had as a backup the Groon the Destroyer episodes. So I really, really know that one well. And it was cool. It was mysterious because, the two little creatures come and accidentally unseal his tomb that was like in this hollow of this dead tree. I mean, it was like this was a ghost. It was a ghost story, And I think that's what I liked about Thundercats, that they really could go anywhere. So the fact that in these comics nothing really happens is such a bummer. It really is. But
but is it as much of a bummer as did either of you watch the 2020 Cartoon Network?
I did
ThunderCats
not.
Roar.
I saw the cartoon style, the animation style, and I was like, pass. The 2011 reboot actually wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad. I did watch a few episodes of it. I refused to watch any of the ThunderCats Roar. So
same, yeah, same.
I don't even remember that existing.
No, look it up. Just look at the animation. If you think Teen Titans Go was bad for animation of ruining, Teen Titans, check out ThunderCats Roar.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
I remember when they first released it, I was on comicbookmovie.com and they were like, we have our first images of the new ThunderCats Roar. And I was like, yes, a new ThunderCats show. And then I clicked on it and I was like, this is awful. I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so angry.
No, because it literally, since you're going to refuse to look at it, I'm going to describe it to you as best I can. You're literally looking at the ThunderCats as if they existed in Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been I have to look it up. It could have been the same animators, but it literally looked like they came out of Adventure Time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was strange. But now we come to my favorite part of the show, which is a little segment I call Gag Me with a Spoon, where we do our best impression of our least favorite part of these comics here. As a guest, I'll let you go first. Just kind of set up the scene for us.
All right. So mine comes from one that we didn't really talk about.
Okay.
It's from Snarf when he has to babysit the baby.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out how to get everything together. And he's like, "Don't cry, Snarf. It's just spilled milk."
That's bad.
Yeah, it was.
That's bad. Do you ever get the feeling that sometimes in these UK comics they're like talking down to us? Like we have to
stupid Americans.
We have to dumb these down for these kids. These kids won't get it.
Or they had even less respect for kids than we do, apparently.
Maybe, yeah, something. I don't know, but anyway, Laramy?
Honestly, even though we've already joked about it and all that, the one I had was Snarf opening up the door and the little man saying, "A Merry Rammastide to you, me fine friend," which implicated is he a leprechaun? But Clemio Poontang at your service. Congratulations.
That's so bad. I ended up going with the Panthro line from the first issue, where they're talking about how the big creature, the Metokangmi or however you say it, is like embracing Cat's Lair like a loved one, and he's like, somehow I just can't picture Twinkle Toes out there as a lovelorn, heartbroken softie. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Panthro.
Hey, that banging we heard wasn't.
That's why Clemulo Puntang came by later.
that's why. Yeah. It's great. But, G.I. Joe taught us that knowing is half the battle. What do you think the other half is?
Knowing how to end a comic story.
Yeah. That's winner right there. Yeah.
Knowing how to install central heating.
Oh, yes. That's a good one, too. Those are both better than mine. I just thought it was having your house shaped like a monster's mate so it'll leave you alone.
There you go.
Or maybe not. I don't know. Guys, this has been fun. Tell me about your shows or, anything you got coming up or anything else you want to plug. And why don't we start with you, Nicholas?
Pop Culture Roulette, we talk about anything, everything, whatever we want to talk about. We call it pop culture and talk about it. I tend to do a lot of brackets where we whatever we wanted to talk about, we bring up probably about 32 things, bracketize them and debate until we figure out who won what and decide which is the best or worst or whatever version of the bracket we're doing.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've got moving panels, which we talk about movies and TV shows that are based on comic books or inspired by comic books, which is why Jerry brings me on a show like this one.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Listen, I've read a lot worse. And I've watched a lot worse.
Yes.
In fact, Nicholas usually watches those with me.
Oh man.
But yeah, if you missed out this past summer, throughout the summer, we did a whole summer series on Mark Miller and talked about Wanted, Jupiter's Legacy, both the Kick-Ass movies. So we've got that, and we're getting ready to start into, in just a month or so, our 6th year. So we're excited about that. And then I've also got a smaller podcast called King Sized, where I talk about Stephen King adaptations. And so check both those out.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new Running Man.
Yes.
And more true to the actual book than the Arnold version.
I mean, I hope it ends like in tragedy the way the original does.
So if you watch the trailer, they are going to do that ending in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, people who don't know don't pick up on it, but the ending, or at least the lead up to the ending, is in the trailer.
Having done Running Man with you and Tim over on 80s Flick Flashback, you told me what the ending of the book was.
Yeah, but I didn't want to spoil it for people who weren't, who don't know. So,
yeah. I don't get me wrong. I like Arnold's version, but it's not the book. Yeah. Right.
It took the idea of the game show and did something completely different.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's like more Hunger Games than it is.
Yeah, I think Glenn Powell, after now seeing the trailer, is the perfect choice for Ben Richards. So, yeah,
I'm excited.
Very excited.
Guys, thanks again. This was a lot of fun. And I'm going to end it with, hi, WilyKat here. Have you written to Santa Claus yet? I've asked for a new lasso. Anyway, the others have asked to wish you all a very happy Christmas, and we hope you enjoy reading this very festive issue of ThunderCats. So check us out on our social media pages, which you can find at linktree.com/totallyradchristmas. And if you're feeling like Lion-O inviting Slithe in for a cup of warm burble fruit punch, leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us reach more people and spread some rad holiday cheer. Now don't forget to check out our merch shop on tpublic.com and our super dope website, totallyradchristmas.com. Thunder, 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 ThunderCats! Ho, ho, ho! Later, dudes.